You know the postcards, the Golden Gate Bridge, the Hollywood sign, and those sun-soaked beaches. For years, California was sold as the ultimate paradise, a golden ticket to sunshine and success. But let's be honest, that shine has rubbed off. For millions of people, the California dream has turned into a nightmare. Behind the Instagram filters is a harsh reality. Cities drowning in violent crime, a cost of living that's crushing families, and pollution so bad, it's literally taking years off people's lives. We're not talking about the movie version of California. We're here for the truth. We've dug through the data, crime, poverty, unemployment, you name it, to bring you the definitive list of places that have lost their golden glow. These are the top 10 worst cities to call home in California. Number 10, Compton. Kicking off our list at number 10 is a city everyone's heard of, but usually for the wrong reasons. Compton. It has a rich cultural history, especially in music, but it's been fighting for decades to shake off its reputation for gangs and violence. And that reputation? It isn't just history, it's happening right now. Compton's crime stats are still alarming. Gang violence is a major driver of homicides and assaults in the city. This isn't a simple problem. It's tangled up with deep-rooted issues like poverty and underfunded public services. Good jobs are hard to find, and the schools face huge challenges, trapping people in a cycle of hardship. Even with local leaders working hard to change the story, the constant struggle with crime and a weak economy lands Compton squarely on our list. Number 9, Vallejo. At number 9, we're in the Bay Area, in the city of Vallejo. It used to be a proud naval city, but today it's known for a shaky economy and scary crime rates. Vallejo has been dealing with a level of violence that constantly makes headlines, with high homicide rates and almost daily reports of shootings. And this isn't just random crime. The city's police department has been buried in controversy, which has created a massive rift between the cops and the community they're supposed to protect. On top of that, the city is struggling financially. It's gotten so bad that federal and state authorities have had to step in to help deal with all the gun and drug trafficking. For the people who live there, it all adds up to a constant feeling of being on edge. Number 8. Modesto. Cruising into our number 8 spot is the Central Valley city of Modesto. It might look like a cheaper option than the coast, but that affordability comes at a serious cost. Modesto is dealing with one of the highest property crime rates in the entire state. Your chances of getting something stolen here are way higher than the national average. And car theft is a massive problem. Besides the crime, Modesto just feels economically stuck. While other parts of California have boomed, Modesto hasn't been able to attract high-paying jobs, leaving a lot of residents with nowhere to go in their careers. The violent crime rate is also way above the national average, making people feel unsafe. With crime that keeps you looking over your shoulder and an economy that's going nowhere fast, Modesto is a tough place to try and build a good life. Number 7. Richmond. Our number 7 spot takes us back to the Bay Area, to the industrial city of Richmond. Living here comes with a risk you can't always see but can't avoid: pollution. The city is home to the massive Chevron oil refinery, which has been a huge environmental worry for decades. Studies show the refinery is a main source of nasty emissions in the area, and it's the residents, especially in poorer neighborhoods, who pay the price with their health. Kids in Richmond have higher rates of asthma than the state average. But it's not just the air. Richmond also has a serious crime problem, with some neighborhoods, like the Iron Triangle, seeing way more than their fair share of violence. This mix of industrial pollution and constant crime makes for a toxic living environment. Number 6. Bakersfield. Hitting our list at number 6 is a city famous for two things: country music and filthy air. Welcome to Bakersfield. Tucked in the southern end of the Central Valley, Bakersfield is consistently ranked one of the most polluted cities in the entire country. The valley's geography acts like a bowl, trapping pollution from farms, factories, and traffic, creating a thick smog that's a real health hazard. But the bad air is just for starters. Bakersfield also has a high crime rate, schools that get poor rankings, and a healthcare system that's stretched way too thin. Sure, it's cheaper to live here than on the coast, but you're trading that for a lower quality of life in almost every other way. The job market is weak unless you work in oil or agriculture, which limits career options for a lot of people. When you mix the toxic air with high crime and bad public services, you can see why many people want out of Bakersfield. We're halfway through our list, and it's not a pretty picture. Do you agree with our picks so far? Is there a city you think we missed? Let us know what you think down in the comments. And if you think it's important to talk about these harsh realities, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the cities on our list are only going to get worse. Number 5, Fresno. Clinching the number 5 spot is another Central Valley giant, Fresno. For years, Fresno has been stuck in a perfect storm of city problems that make it a tough place to get ahead. The city is choked by some of the worst air pollution in America, a nasty mix of farm dust, car exhaust, and wildfire smoke that gets trapped by the mountains. This has turned into a public health crisis, causing high rates of asthma and other breathing problems. On top of the environmental issues, Fresno has a really high unemployment rate that's almost always worse than both the state and national averages. This lack of jobs just fuels other social problems, like a high crime rate. Both violent crimes and property crimes are huge issues, and the schools don't have enough funding to give kids a real shot at a better future. For all these reasons, bad air, bad job market, and high crime, Fresno is a city where the California dream feels more like a hazy, polluted nightmare. Number 4, San Francisco. This next one might throw you for a loop. At number 4, we've got a city known for its stunning beauty and famous landmarks, San Francisco. So, how does one of the most beloved cities in the world end up on a worst of list? Simple. For the average person, it's become almost impossible to live in. San Francisco is basically the poster child for the death of the Californian middle class. The cost of living is insane. The median home price is well over $1 million, and rent is just as brutal, making it a place where you can't get by without a massive salary. But even if you could afford it, would you want to? The city is fighting a massive property crime problem. Car break-ins are everywhere, and those videos of people shamelessly robbing stores have become a daily sight online. Throw in a huge homelessness crisis and streets that are often just plain dirty, and the city's charm starts to fade really fast. Even though some crime rates have dropped recently, the core problems of affordability and quality of life are still there, making San Francisco a broken paradise. Number 3, Stockton. Pulling into the number 3 spot is a city that's been fighting its reputation for danger for a long time, Stockton. And sad to say, that reputation is earned. Stockton is consistently one of the most violent cities, not just in California, but in the whole country. Its homicide rate, often fueled by gang activity, is a constant source of fear for the people living there. Car theft is another out-of-control problem, with Stockton having some of the highest rates in the nation. But the city's issues run deeper than just crime. Decades of economic struggles have left their mark. People are trying to turn things around, but the city still has high unemployment and poverty. The housing market is a roller coaster, and even though it seems cheap compared to the Bay Area, the wages in Stockton just haven't kept up, trapping people in a cycle of just trying to get by. It's a city where survival often feels like the main goal, not success. Number 2, San Bernardino. Our runner-up for the worst city in California is San Bernardino. Over in the Inland Empire, this city is a textbook example of urban decay. San Bernardino is crippled by one of the highest violent crime rates in the state, with a shocking 14.9 incidents for every 1,000 residents. This is driven by deep economic problems. The city has a poverty rate of over 25%, which is nearly 3 times the state average. This level of poverty creates the perfect environment for crime, especially drug-related crime. And to make things even worse, the San Bernardino Police Department is severely understaffed, with over 40% of its positions empty. The cops who are left are completely overwhelmed and struggling to keep things under control. With few job opportunities, failing public services, and a constant feeling of danger, San Bernardino is a city where the community itself feels like it's being torn apart. Number 1, Oakland, and now the moment you've been waiting for. The number 1 worst city to live in California is Oakland. For years, this city right across the bay from San Francisco has been in a downward spiral. And today, it's a glaring example of a city that has failed its residents. Oakland has the highest violent crime rate of any major city in California. It's a staggering 327% higher than the national average. Robberies, carjackings, and assaults are just part of daily life. Property crime is even worse, with a rate of 60 incidents per 1,000 residents. Businesses are packing up and leaving because they can't handle the constant break-ins and theft. This has crushed the local economy, creating a doom loop of lost jobs and less tax money for the city. The police department is understaffed and demoralized, and people live with their guard up at all times. Even if you hear reports about crime going down, the numbers are often debated. And for the people of Oakland, the reality is one of fear and decay. It's a city where the basic promise of safety has been broken, making Oakland the undeniable worst city to live in California. From the polluted air of the Central Valley to the crime-ridden streets of the Bay Area, these 10 cities show the ugly side of the California dream. The problems are complicated and all connected. An insane cost of living, out-of-control crime, economic despair, and environmental dangers have created a reality that's a world away from the state's glamorous image. These aren't just numbers. They're the daily struggles of millions of Californians who have been left behind. While the Golden State is still a center for new ideas and has some of the most beautiful scenery in the world, it's time we get real about the parts that are broken. What do you think? Did we get the #1 spot right? What city would you have put on this list? We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts and your own experiences in the comments section below. If this video opened your eyes, give it a like and share it with your friends. And for more content that tells it like it is, don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Thanks for watching.